Okay. All right, we're back. All right, so again, part of your review should be, and if you haven't written those 4 questions down, write those 4 questions down and be able to answer them. Okay? Know the answer to these 4 questions. Again, how are organic materials uh, evidence to be analyzed? First, you got to know what an organic material is. So those are the materials that come from living things. You are a living thing. You are an organic substance. So that includes things that we looked at from trees, from plants, from other animals' fur, the hair from animals that might go by. All of those things are considered organic materials. So the question is, forensically, if you're doing at a crime scene, how do you handle that evidence? Okay. What are the various types of chromography, and why are they so important in the field of forensics? And so let's come down here and look at the vocabulary. First of all, what is chromography? Chromography is a technique used to separate the components of chemical mixture by moving the mixture around a stationary material, such as a gelatin. So in other words, they have a plate and they streak the material across the gelatin plate. Um, Different components of a mixture are caught by materials by the different rates and form isolated bands that can be analyzed. Okay. And then you have different types. You have gas chromatography, you have thin layer chromatography, you have column chromatography, high pressure liquid chromatography. So this is what they mean by how are the various types of chromatography, what are they, and how are they important? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So make sure you write those 4 down. And then we'll go to the section in a minute. I'm just going through these 4 questions first. How can spectrometry be spectrophotometry, there you go. I can never say this word. Be used to identify unknown samples. So let's come down here and figure out what that means in the first place. Okay, down here to the bottom. It's the study of the absorption of light chemical substances. A spectrophotometer is an instrument used to measure and record the absorption of the spectrum of a chemical substance. And then you have the last one, which is mass spectrometry, is a compound bombarded by a stream of electrons and compounds that break into fragments. Each compound gives a unique set of fragments, which can be thought of as a compound fingerprint. All right, hold on, we got somebody else to let in. All right. So make sure you take note of those 4 questions and know what those things are, and then go to the specific sections, because the question really is, how is it used in um, forensics? Shoo. All right. Basically, they're used to analyze. So they are different instruments used to analyze um, living things. Okay, one more person to let in. Living things, I said again, are organic compounds. So, but all things are matter. So you need to know liquid, solid, liquid, and gas. You need to know their behavior. Solids take you back to physical science. Solids are molecules are always moving. Everything is made up of molecules and elements and things of that nature. So the molecules in a solid are moving very, very, very slowly. So they're very close together. They're packed in a uniform pattern. In a liquid, they're kind of close, but they don't have a uniform pattern, so they flow. So you kind of have to know the characteristics of what you're looking at in order to decide this is a solid, this is a liquid. Gases have so much energy, they have no pattern at all. They fly all over the place, and so they are spread out. They have take up the, and everybody's coming. I believe. This is everybody now. Okay. All righty. So, and just in general, know the difference between a solid, liquid, and a gas, and I think you know that. Um, don't worry about this one so much, but again, know that in forensics, we are analyzing different materials. So again, come back here and look at this part down here. What do we use it for? It's often used in forensics as a first step to identify what type of substance or evidence. Know that, okay? Make a note of that. Make a note of that, okay? All right, then we have high pressure liquid chromatography. Make a note of what it's used for. It is used for. I'm not going to put any graphs or anything like that on there, but just take note of what it's used for. So, and again, what it's used for. So this is the column chromatography. What is it used for? Again, gas chromatography. What is it used for? Okay. I'm going through this quickly, but I'm going to give you time. When I stop going through it, you go back and you take note of all of the things that I'm pointing out. So again, our objective for this test is to know what these tools are used for. Okay, because I said all the old stuff, we're not going to go back too far on. All right, we have our spectrophotometry. So again, we went over the definition. What do we use it for? Okay, know what it's used for. So know what it is, know what it's used for. Um, mass spectrometry, again, know what it is, know what it's used for. Okay. All right. All right, don't worry about that one. All right, so you had your instruments and you need to know what they're used for. Okay, next, moving on, toxicology. Oh, hair fibers. Hair fibers. Again, look at your essential questions. So we have 5 essential questions. What are the parts of the hair and how do they grow? I'm not going to stress this question at all. So that don't worry about the parts of the hair. Second question, how is hair evidence collected and analyzed? That you need to know. So don't worry about the first question. I'm not. So all of this cuticle, medulla, that'll come in another time, but not for this test. We did that on the last test. But for this test, I want you to know, again, we're focusing on why is it important to forensics? So, how is hair evidence collected? What are the different types of fibers? What are the different types of fibers typically found at a crime scene? How is fiber evidence collected? And what botanical, that means plants, remains are typically found at a crime scene and how are they analyzed? All right, so that takes us as far as, and I would just go to the sections for this. So the first section on this one is about the structure of the hair, so I wouldn't worry about that part so much. I'm gonna go to the next section that I would look at. How do you collect hair? Okay, so look at that. Okay, look at, there was a chart about conversation, and then we had a video on this that talked about um, the different textures of hair according to race. Okay, so read this one over. Fibers, again, what are fibers? And again, how are they collected was the question. So make sure you go through this presentation. And again, I'm skipping to the things that you need to focus on and not the things you don't. All right. And these are the different types of fibers. Synthetic or manufactured or synthetic means man-made. It's not real. So it's not a material that grows naturally in nature. So know the difference between cotton is natural, polyester is not. Most of the things that you have are a blend. When they say a blend, they mean they've combined natural plant products with man-made products. Okay, so know that. But and most importantly, know how to collect fibers. Okay, collection of fiber for evidence. So this is the section that you need to look at. Crime scene. Look at this one. Spend a little time with that. Okay, again, know what botanical means. These are the real ones. They're not the synthetic ones. Okay. About to enter pollen season right now. Everything's going to be yellow in a little while because the pear trees are blooming and everything is going to be covered. All right, go through this one. Okay. All right. I did a lot of stuff in this. All right, so machines, hair fibers, toxicology. Again, with that, I'm not going to ask this last one. The classification, I did that extensively on the last test, so I will not do that again. But do know the top questions as far as that's concerned. And I'm going to just skip, then just skip to serology. Serology is the one that we did not test. So the summary worksheet that you just did, study that. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to. Okay, well, this one, significance of toxicology results and the names of the different tests. But other than that, don't spend a lot of time on that. Don't worry about this. This you should know. Toxicology. Know why you need to have a toxicologist. Again, if we're going to court, we need to, so this part is important. Things that they can and cannot do. Again, we're not going to analyze the different ones. Next week, like I said, I want to do a gallery walk. And so we'll have an activity where you will just read a couple of other folks' presentations on the poisons, because you all did a good job on that. And so I want you to see each other's work, and then you'll just take certain notes down from your gallery walk. All right, so again, be able to, now this is the part you do need to pay focus on. Half the test is on serology. All right, so know, again, the study page that I gave you, just know that. I'm not going to ask so much of different types of for you to, other than knowing that there are 4 different types of blood, don't spend a whole lot of time on that. So how is blood typing done? Don't worry about that. But what information can we get from blood stain patterns? How is blood analyzed in the forensic lab? How is paternity attached? That's going to be a short question. But these other ones, what type of information is determined by a drop of blood? Okay. Those are important questions, not blood typing. Okay. All right. So I've talked enough. So, any questions? Do you have any questions? All right. It looks like most of you have turned in your serology review sheet. If you haven't, please make sure you have. Remember, all um, late work needs to be turned in by Friday. So please make sure all of your grades are up to date. We want everybody to pass. Everybody to pass. Okay. All right. Let me quickly look at who I need to. Jada, Alicia, Anthony, Xavier. Excuse me, Neve. I just called your name, Jayla. Then you have not turned in the serology review. And you need to do that so that you can do well on this test. Okay? All right. If I didn't call your name, I have it. I just haven't graded it yet. All right. So everybody has something to do. You're reviewing or you're getting that worksheet turned in. All right, let me do attendance real quick. All right, everybody should be doing something. See about 4 or 5 of you are doing nothing. And in fact, the screen has been idle for several minutes. Again, no late work is going to be taken after the 7th. So you're sitting idle doing nothing now. Okay, folks. Any questions? Any questions? All right, so be on time. The test will be in Canvas and study, study. Right. All right, I'm good if you're good. You have a blessed rest of your day.